We're in principle number 7, which is outlining the 4 main categories of spiritual development discussed in Kabbalah. We said the first stage is receiving to receive, receiving because I want to get. This is where we all begin, where we're hardwired, wanting to serve our own self-interest. The next stage, we said, is giving to get. We're giving, doing for others, doing spiritual work, but the intention of what we're doing, of what we're giving, is because we want to get something from it. It's all the giving is ultimately rooted in our own self-interest. So the outer action is giving, but the inner intention is to get from it. The highest level of giving to get, because until we reach very exalted level, all of what we're doing is in order to get something from it. So the highest thing that we could want to get is to want to get out of our wanting to get. We want to get a desire to give. And if we don't yet want even a desire to give, we want to have a desire to give. Right? Wanting to be able to transcend our nature of always wanting to get and serve our own self-interest and reach a place of purely giving. Wanting to be able to love outside of ourselves. It's the highest thing that we could want to get. So the highest level of giving to get is I'm giving to others, doing spiritual work. We realize that my acts of giving and my spiritual work is still rooted in wanting to serve myself, because that's the truth of the matter. But I want to be able to transcend that, to be given a new nature of truly wanting to give, in order to give. Which brings us to the third stage. So the third stage is giving to give. This is a state of being able to give only with intention to give. The act is giving and the motivation is to give. The giving is motivated purely by love. There is no desire to receive anything in return for the giving. Not in this world and not in the world to come. The sages refer to this exalted spiritual level as L'Shem Shamayim. It is also called the stage of tikkun, fixing. So we learned that there's 2 main stages, or 2 categories. One is called tikkun olam, the fixing of the world, and one is called matarat habriya, the purpose of creation. So the purpose of creation is what we discussed before, is for us to reach the level of being able to receive in order to give. To receive all the divine goodness in the state of giving. That's the purpose of creation, what we're headed towards. But in order to reach that, we have to first pass through what's called tikkun olam, the fixing of the world. The fixing is the stage of reaching the place of giving in order to give. We have to reach the state of giving in order to give, in order to be able to reach the state of receiving in order to give. It's much harder to receive in order to give than it is to give in order to give. In giving to give, the action is giving and the intention is to give. So they're the same. In receiving to give, the action is receiving and the intention is giving, which are different. So it's much harder. So first we have to reach the stage that's called tikkun, the stage of fixing, which is giving to give. Loving, giving truly out of love outside of ourselves. It's a very exalted level of giving to give. When at first it might not seem like it's such a big deal, but the more that we start to do inner spiritual work, start to become more aware of our inner motivation, the motivation of our motivation, our inner reasons why we're doing what we're doing, we start to see how much everything we're doing is rooted in wanting to serve ourselves. And to try to reach the place of being able to truly love and give outside of our own self-interest is so hard. In fact, the more we start to try to do this, at first it seems like it's impossible to reach such a place. It says in the Kabbalah that not only is it possible to reach giving in order to give, it's everything we're here for. It's everything going on. All of the Kabbalah is trying to help guide us in this process of attaining this exalted level called tikkun, the state of giving in order to give. Until we get there, the closest thing that we naturally know of it is the love of parents for their children. Because it's put in some ways naturally inside of us for parents to love their children even beyond their own self-interest. Right? The happiness of our children is even more precious to us than our own happiness. So on some levels, we can have a little taste of this, parents to children. But to reach this level where we have that love for everybody's children, for everybody, to reach a state that's even beyond our natural state, a state of truly loving outside of ourselves. So the state of giving in order to give is a third state called tikkun. There's one to finish the section here. It says, this stage is not the final purpose because we were created to receive, not to give. We were created to receive all the pleasure and enjoyment of God's gift. Attaining a state of pure giving, however, is a necessary prerequisite for us to be able to progress to the next and final stage of being able to experience God's goodness in the ultimate way. So giving to give is the level where we're giving to other people, we're giving of ourselves, we're even giving up things that we would enjoy, but we're giving them up for somebody else because we love the other person so much. Out of love for the other person. That the other person's enjoyment is more precious to us than our own enjoyment. Now there's all different levels of giving to give. There's levels where we could give up, small things out of love. And then there's higher and higher levels of what we're able to give out of love. But the idea of the third stage is to reach the stage where we're truly loving outside of ourselves. We're able to give in order to give. The act is giving and the intention is giving. State of truly loving outside of ourselves. So we'll end here and then next time go on to the fourth stage.